Welcome back to the Brew Crew franchise. Last time, we took a look at the draft, and Garrett Hirsch was the first round selection. He's looking pretty good. We'll find out just how good today. Roger Herzog, very high potential, looking like a lower overall, but a second baseman of the future is something we could use. Amos Zaladzik, that's the best that I could come up with. He has a wide range on his overall, but he should be pretty solid potential. We'll see how good he is. Nick Hazel. We could get screwed on him at a 79 potential, but hopefully we do not. He should be somewhere in the 50s of overall. Clint Rivera, probably in the 50s overall as well, but he should be very high potential. Excited about him. Herbert Garland at shortstop should be pretty high potential. Again, really low overall. I'm expecting high 40s. We'll see what we get out of him. And Kyle Slater, there really just wasn't a lot of players left to select. He's that guy that I'm hoping could be in the 70s of overall, 70s of potential. We'll have to see when we get to it. William Contreras is currently leading all-star votes. Bryce Terang and Joseph Ortiz have a chance to maybe make the all-star game. They're having good seasons. Christian Yelich looks like he'll make it as the left field starter, which is good for a player who has seen his career go down the tubes as of late. Jackson Churio is going to have a chance as well, and before we can get to check out our draft picks, we're going to go ahead and jump into a game. The Brew Crew on the road against the Kansas City Royals, down 2-1. Sal Frelick at the plate with one out and a runner in scoring position against these Kansas City Royals, and Frelick puts one down on the ground to first base, and he is out of there. So 2 down, but he does move the runner over against Lucas Erceg, who was up against Garrett Mitchell, and he gets the pop-up. Mitchell had a chance to really give that one a ride, but unfortunately he gets way underneath it, and the Kansas City Royals get a dub at home against our Brew Crew, 2-1. Seth Lugo picking up the win. Nasty Nestor going to get saddled with the loss, and Erceg with his 28th save as the Royals sweep our Brew Crew. So after that loss, we take a look at the Home Run Derby. None of our players are in it, so we're not going to bother. Christian Yelich, though, is leading off for the NL All-Stars. You see Willie Contreras on there. We are going to go ahead and player lock Christian Yelich, who is on a mission to win that ring. He has been on that mission, and he's got the long contract to be able to get it done on this team. Spencer Schwellenbach is our starting pitcher for the National League. But Yelich in his first at bat, down 1-0, and Yelich will get on base with a base hit to right field. So Yelich providing some help. He's going to go for the steal here to second, and he will be in there, safe. So Yelich after the steal. Here's a hit into center, and they want Yelich to go, and he slides into home with a run scored. Christian Yelich doing his job. He has the only run on the board, and here's a hit out to center field, and he is gone. American League up 4-1 later on, and Yelich gets under this one with one on and one away, and he is going to go down. So 4-1, we go ahead and return to simulating after he is pinch hit 4. The game was tied at 5. But the American League able to pull it out. Andres Munoz ends up with the win. Felix Bautista gets saddled with the loss. And Cade Smith gets a save for it. 6-5 American League. And the Futures game, Ryan Gilchrist is starting in it at Citizens Bank Park. And of course, we are going to go ahead and player lock for Ryan Gilchrist, our very first round pick of the series, and Gilchrist right down the line to first base. He is thrown out. That is a double play. Gilchrist comes up in the bottom of the third in a 1-1 tie against Parker Messick. He takes this one out to center field, but that is going to be caught as a lazy fly ball to center. So end of third in a tie game. National League take a 4-1 lead by the time Gilchrist gets another AB, and this one It's a pass ball behind the plate, and they throw Gilchrist out at first. Not having the greatest performance. There's another one, strike 3 on Ryan Gilchrist. So a strikeout there. He is 2 for 3 on the day, and he will be pinch hit for by Paul Barron. And the American League somehow come out with a dub in this one, 6-5. Can't make it up. 2 6-5 wins for the American League, both in the All-Star game and in the Futures game. At least Yelly did get a run scored. Brenton Doyle traded from the Rockies to the New York Yankees, so he has a new team. Couple of prospects on their way to Colorado. Brenton Doyle has not had the greatest season so far in 2026. He's got 3 years of arbitration coming up for the Yankees, so pretty good buy for the Yankees. A 62 B potential in Jack Brown and a 60 C potential in Omar Armas heading to the Rockies in this deal. Not sure how much I love it for the Rockies, but the Yankees getting a nice young talent. Zach Gallen is on the move as well, as the Astros will get him from the Marlins. The Marlins just paid him a ton, and now they will flip him to the Astros. He has been pitching very well, and look at that long contract the Astros are taking on until he is 35 years old. They do get Charles Lemon over to the Marlins, a 71B potential. He looks like he could be something. The Marlins might even bring him up right away. Bryce Matthews, a 66B potential. His potential is on the rise, so Matthews looking pretty good. And Gene Reese, a 65B potential. So honestly, a really good trade for the Marlins, the way that the Marlins would do things, taking that big contract that they probably should never have paid and flipping it out. Kobe Mayo is on the trade block. Very, very interesting. That is a young player we may take a look at some point. We'll see. But the Brewers heading into a series here against the Padres. 2-2 game. Rain is falling in San Diego. It's supposed to be always sunny and beautiful in San Diego, but here's a 2-2 game, and a lazy fly ball to center takes to the bottom of the 9th inning. And as we go ahead and sim forward, it's Rhys Hoskins hitting a 2 RBI double to get the win, 4-2. Brian Hudson picks up the win. Ron Marinaccio will pick up the loss, and Trevor McGill gets his 30th save. Oh yeah. As we take a look at the standings, Phillies currently leading the East by 5.5 over the Mets and the Braves. The Brew Crew are up 2 games on the Cubbies and 3 on the Reds. Cardinals looking horrible in the National League Central. The Dodgers are up 19 games over the Giants. Now the Giants are under 500, but yeah, the Dodgers are pretty deadly right now. They're also up 21 over the Padres, and as you can see, the Padres are 10 games out of the wild card. Giants are 8 games out of the wild card. Reds 1 game out. Pirates are 6.5 out. So there could be some nice races coming down the final 2 months of the season as we get rolling. Yankees lead the American League East by 7.5 over the Rays. Orioles 10.5 out of first. So that Kobe Mayo trade block looking kind of nice. The American League Central, the Guardians lead that by 3.5 games over the Twins, 4.5 over the Royals, and 6.5 over the Tigers. Pretty solid, tight division right there. Rangers lead the West by 4 over the 7 games under 500 Mariners, which is kind of incredible to me. Mariners not really getting it done. Angels in the bottom of that division, only 9 games out. Twins are 3 games up for the number 1 wild card spot. Royals 2 games up. Tigers are in there. So yeah, that Central division is going hard right now in the American League. Here's a move at the trade deadline as we are getting towards that trade deadline. The Marlins really looking to unload some highly priced players, pick up some prospects. Xavier Edwards about to get into arbitration. Xavier Edwards is a guy we can absolutely use as we are trying to make that push forward leading this NL Central. We are giving up prospect Chris Goldie, who is an 18-year-old prospect, Juan Baez, who is not a very good prospect, and Joey LaPerfido, who actually could start on the Marlins right now if you took a look at their roster. So a prospect, a potential starter for now who actually has potential for the future as well, and then just another prospect throw-in going for Xavier Edwards and Max Meyer, two guys who are about to reach arbitration that the Marlins just aren't really wanting to pay. LaPerfido also has 3 years on a very cheap deal that they can absolutely bring him up using, and Chris Goldie, just one of those guys we don't want to personally wait for. I know we drafted him, but we don't want to personally wait for him, and he's somebody that the Marlins were interested in. Xavier Edwards could really provide us with that contact bat to go along with Luis Arraez, and Max Meyer, we're just looking for the future of pitching on this club. Andres Munoz, you saw him do some great things here at the All-Star break, and we're going to try to pick him up. The Mariners are not really getting the job done right now, and they might want some pieces for the future. Reynel Delgado is a guy who is close enough to be potential that they could potentially use him and get him to reach that. And Alek Thomas is already there. They need that outfielder. So Mariners willing to do this deal. We are going to go ahead and make that trade. Now looking for another pitcher, Chris Sale is out there for the Braves, and he's having a wonderful potential Cy Young race season. Nasty Nestor, he's very hit or miss. He's either pretty good or really terrible for us, and we're going to go ahead and make that move, get Chris Sale. Now that we got Munoz, we can unload the Trevor McGill, so we'll see if that trade burns us or not, but Chris Sale coming in will be interesting. Christian Campbell is a guy that was on the trade block as well, and we want to go out and make that move. A bunch of B potentials heading over to the Red Sox to bring in Christian Campbell. He will go to the farm, and hopefully he can rake and get ready to come up sooner than later. This is a farm for farm deal. We got better starters going to the Yankees. I'm always happy to rip off the Yankees. That's just one rule that I have always had. I'm always happy to rip off the Yankees, so we'll go ahead and do that. Jackie Enright caught my eye. I need a catcher in the minor leagues, and he just looks really good for us. 3 minor league players are going to head over to the Braves. They're fine with giving him up, and the Braves are another team I don't mind screwing over. Not going to lie. Andrew Monasterio, we want to get rid of him. We get a bunch of dinky prospects. We'll bring those in. Maybe flip them later. Who knows? Stanley Fukudome. Whatever. Warner Blakely, they're both coming in. We're making some moves here, and some of the moves we're going to need to make is re-signing some of our top-end talent. Rhys Hoskins, we don't want him going over to free agency. We bring him back for a couple of seasons. Freddie Peralta's another one. He has been our ace pitcher for I don't know how long. We're going to try to give him less years. We really do not want a long-term deal, but I think for the next couple of years he will still be our ace pitcher, and we are going to try to keep it that way. See if we can get him for around $27 million for 2 seasons. It's a lot of money to be spending, but he will go ahead and take it. And William Contreras, of course, is going to be one of the cornerstones of this organization. A 28-year-old catcher who can hit the way that he does and play enough defense the way that he does. We really are going to need that guy in our organization. Currently, negotiations not really going well. He likes the length of the contract. He is not loving the money. We have got to pump that money up. 5-year deal. We'll go ahead and give it to him. Let him come back. And as you can see, the game really highlighting that Chris Sale trade. They really like that one as we move into a series against the Diamondbacks. 2-2 game on tap. Luis RAZE going to come to the plate in a bases-loaded situation with a chance to give us a lead, and RAZE is going to hit into what is a double play. So he goes down. Next, it is Junior Caminero coming to the plate. We somehow take a lead, and Caminero going to go down swinging. Andres Munoz trying to pick up this huge save to keep us winning, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. takes it to left field. Christian Yelich underneath it makes the grab. They're going to attempt. No. Backing up back to second. Probably a smart move for the runner. Jordan Lawler, though, goes down swinging. It is a huge strikeout for Munoz, and he will pick up the save as Brian Hudson picks up his third win of the season. Munoz 24 saves, and the Brewers lead the series to zip with a huge win. 3 runs on only 6 hits. Diamondbacks made 2 crucial errors. All right, everybody wanted to get to this part. It is the draft pick part, and Garrett Hirsch, you can see 64 overall, 83 potential. That's not bad for a catcher in the first round. We get really good contact out of him. Not quite a power guy yet, but you can see the 76 clutch is huge out of Puerto Rico. Now, Garrett Hirsch isn't exactly a Puerto Rican name, I should know. But a 21-year-old, 64 overall, nonetheless. B potential. This is a guy who could eventually be our starting catcher. Roger Herzog at second base, a 56 overall with B potential. Not much a hitter, but he is fast, good on the base paths, and hopefully we can develop him as a hitter. Amos Zlirazik is a 60 overall, B potential. Not bad. He could be a future starter in the rotation. One thing I don't like about him is the 2-seam fastball that he has in place of the 4-seam. Nick Hazel at third base, 55 overall, B potential. Really durable player, shouldn't be getting hurt much. Fast, good on the base paths. We've got to develop that bat. Clint Rivera, 57 overall, but we get the A potential out of him. Not much of a bat currently, but good arm in the outfield. That should definitely help, and he is fast. Herbert Garland at shortstop can play a little bit of defense. He is fast, good on the base paths. We're going to have to get that contact and power up, but look at that. He can play everywhere. Shortstop, third base, second base, outfield. I like his versatility. Kyle Slater, I was going for more of a 70 overall with 70 potential. We got a 67 overall in the 70s of potential. It's not terrible, though. He's got really good contact. He will be a very good AAA hitter to start with. Maybe he can move up eventually. Forrest Fry of the Pirates, looking like a pretty good player in the first round, 69 overall. Alan Clarkson's really nice. We may eventually target him if we are dumping a player to the Yankees. Barney Ware, 73 overall at 74 potential. Mark Beach, 74 overall, 83 potential. That is not a bad pickup for the Blue Jays. Brendan Ellis, 61 overall, 8 potential. White Sox had a pretty good draft. As you can tell, they got 3 high potential players in Adolfo Flores, David Rickles to go along with Brendan Ellis. Not a bad draft. The Astros had a decent draft. Sammy Armas for the Angels looking really, really good. 72 overall with some high B potential. That looks really nice. The Angels, though, do end up with the saddest player in the draft, a 77 overall, Derek Martins, but in the C potential range. So we'll see if they can develop him. The Braves get a couple of really nice players at the top of their draft, but then the rest of it is nothing to write home about. Marlins get Lloyd Montenegro. I really liked him, and he's not as good as I thought he was going to be. I really thought he was going to be an A potential, but 69 B potential. Really solid player, though. They do get a really nice closer, though, right after that in Mauricio Mateo. 80 overall, 95 potential. They also have another closer down there, Robert Cedeno, as you can see, with 89 potential. So not a bad draft for the Miami Marlins, and obviously they need something like that. Again, that 2-seamer is kind of useless, but Four-seam curveball slider is enough to get it done for a closer in this league. And we'll see what he ends up becoming. All right, we're moving on, and we are taking on the Diamondbacks again. Full game. First big full game here for Chris Sale, who comes in to pitch for our team. We are first in the NL Central. Diamondbacks are fourth in the NL West. They're not very good. We're trying to get these brooms out, and the bullpen over the last 6 games has been very, very good. A little bit low on the strikeout totem pole, but really, really good everywhere else. We'll see if they can keep that up today and get us a win. Braxton Garrett making the start for the Diamondbacks. 5.04 ERA. He has not had a great season at all. Xavier Edwards will lead it off, and it is a dribbler to third and another error. That has been a problem for the Diamondbacks in this series as Christian Yelich goes down swinging. Braxton Garrett will get him for the first strikeout of the game. Willie Contreras comes up, and he hits this thing really deep to left field. That one is carrying, and it hits the wall. William Contreras will not have a home run, but he will have a big double. Rhys Hoskins to the plate. He gets a little chopper right back to the pitcher, and he is going to be thrown out at first. So 2 gone, 2 on in scoring position for Luis Arraez, who is jammed out to left center. And that one is caught by the left fielder out there. So we go to the bottom of the first, and here he is, the big acquisition at the deadline. 11-3 with a 2.37 ERA. Chris Sale, 111 WHIP. He has 118 strikeouts on the year. We're hoping he can get a bunch of those for us. Opportunity to get his first, but Lourdes Gurriel Jr. will have an infield fly ball right to Arraez for out number 1. As we take a look at the Diamondbacks lineup that we will go against today, Jordan Lawler coming up next, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, Gabriel Moreno, Junior Caminero, Max Kepler, Michael Conforto, and Josh Bell. Very interesting how they have acquired Caminero and then a bunch of older veteran has-beens at the bottom of their order. Here's Lawler going to get a dribbler through between second and first, and that's a base hit. Ketel Marte over to third. Edwards onto second. Arraez onto first, and the double play is completed. Chris Sale gets out of his first inning. Joseph Ortiz comes up and slams one in the top of the second with 1 out and nobody on. Solo shot for Joey Ortiz. And that one starts the scoring. Ortiz's 11th homer of the season, travels 424 on a 109 exit velo. So Joseph Ortiz strikes first, and the Brewers on top 1-0. Here's Xavier Edwards. He will dribble over to third with a couple of guys on, and the double play is not completed. Second run scores. Edwards with an RBI. Here's Christian Yelich dribbling one onto second base. They're going to go for a double play again, and this time they will get it. Going to the bottom half of the second inning. Gabriel Moreno, strikeout. Goes down swinging, and he will be Chris Sale's first strikeout in a Brewers uniform. Here's Rhys Hoskins, and he absolutely slams this thing out to left field right into the bullpen. It is gone. Rhys Hoskins hits his 27th home run of the season. That one goes only 363, but it is enough to get the job done and give Milwaukee a 4-zip lead on the road at Arizona, looking to sweep the D-backs. Max Kepler sits there looking at strike number 3, a circle change down low in the zone. He goes down. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in the bottom of the third comes up with a runner on, and Garrett Mitchell will make the catch out there in right field. Bye-bye. So end of the third, 4-0 Brewers. As we take a little look at the postseason picture, you can see the Brewers there in the 3rd seed right now as a division leader. Braves, Mets, Cubbies, the Wildcats, Phillies, and Dodgers, the other division leaders. In the hunt still, the Reds, the Giants, the Pirates, and the Padres. We'll see if they've made enough moves to get the job done as Tommy Henry is going to come in to pitch for the Diamondbacks. They're a little tired of all the runs getting put up here early. Top of the 4th, Xavier Edwards with 2 on and nobody out. He will line out to center field. No advancement from any runners. Here's Christian Yelich at the plate. He swings and misses, so the bring on of Tommy Henry has worked thus far. He gets his first strikeout. William Contreras now. He'll take this one into center. That is a base hit. That should score a run. And it will, and they will throw a runner out at third base. But the run does score. It is 5-0 Brewers. And you look at the National League Cy Young candidates, Chris Sale is in there now. So, I don't know. I think he's got as good of a case as any. Glass now is the clear leader, though. The sinker will get Corbin Carroll. Now Junior Caminero, and he will get one past Luis RAZE. We would have runners, bases loaded, but look at this. Throwing him out at the plate. Garrett Mitchell with a little gun on him. We'll take another look at that one. To the plate. Big tag from Contreras. And you're out of there. Wow. So we move through 4. Into the bottom of the 5th, Chris Sale gets a strikeout to end the 5th inning. Chris Sale pitching a little gem here. He's getting a little help from his defense, too. Sal Frelick comes up, and he hits this one deep in the top of the 6th with 1 out. It will be a solo shot, but it travels 453 feet. That is an absolute monster from a guy like Sal Frelick. And a 109.4 exit velo. That is going to give the Brew Crew an even bigger lead. 6-0 Brew Crew. Here's Corbin Carroll. He will take a walk with 2 away here from Chris Sale. That's his second walk allowed of the game. Now we will face Gabriel Moreno. He has gotten him out already before, but Moreno this time going to take him to right. Garrett Mitchell's not going to get to that one. Corbin Carroll will find his way to third, and he's actually going to turn it and go home, and the tag is not in time. Corbin Carroll, with some incredible base running, will score the first run against Chris Sale. Here's Rhys Hoskins taking this out to left, and that gets into the stands. Rhys Hoskins has hit his second homer of this ball game and his 28th of the year. That one goes 391 and gives the Brewers a 6-run lead again, this time at 7-1. At the 7th inning stretch, you see Sale, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks, and 2 walks. Hoskins, 2 for 4 with 2 dingers. Here's Max Kepler, and he comes up and slams one out to right field, and Kepler's got himself a home run. 377 for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Max Kepler, one of those has-beens at the bottom of the order. 19 homers for him this year. A little revitalization in his career. So that'll be it for Chris Sale's day. Luke Weaver comes in to pitch, and he's got a .68 ERA in 17 appearances. He has been lights out. See if he can continue to be. Michael Conforto goes down looking. That will put 1 away in the bottom of the 7th, and with 2 away, Luke Weaver will get out of the 7th inning. We'll go to the 8th. Top of the 8th inning, Jackson Churio taking it out to left field, and that one is a home run of 397 feet. Jackson Churio has just slammed his 15th home run of the season. Not a huge total for him, but it will help the Brewers to an 8-2 lead in the top of the 8th. Surely there's no way they can blow this. William Contreras comes up, and he gets one past third base. And Contreras is going to pick up an RBI on a sliding Xavier Edwards. 9-2, and now the Diamondbacks are going to bring in Joe Mantiply. 3.59 ERA for him on his season. Rhys Hoskins, though, has 2 homers already, and this time bounces one to third. This is a double play ball, and it is complete to get the Diamondbacks out of this. Into the bottom of the 8th. This one's down the left field line. Churio will have to play this one, throwing it in home, and not even close. 3rd run of the ball game for the Diamondbacks. Here's Junior Caminero, though, just sits and looks. Window shopping in the 8th inning. Not recommended. Michael Conforto in the bottom of the 9th inning comes up and slams to right field, a 391-foot homer. That is a 2-run shot for Michael Conforto, his 5th of the season. 391 feet to put the Diamondbacks only down 4. I realize it's the bottom of the 9th, but there is no one out. There is a chance. And that is why the Brew Crew will go to the pen and bring Aaron Ashby to the mound. 3.03 ERA. His average against righties only 200. He's facing one here in Josh Bell. 9-5, and Bell will pop out behind him. William Contreras makes the catch. Jordan Lawler with one away and one on. Lawler takes him to right field and off the foul pole. 382-foot home run for Jordan Lawler. Only his 5th of the season, but it has drawn the Snakes within 2. The Arizona Diamondbacks only down 9-7 now. And it's time for Andres Munoz to come in and try to close this thing. Bottom 9, here's Ketel Marte over to a RAZE, easy out number 2. Still 9-7 with Marte down, it's Corbin Carroll, and this one over to short, Joseph Ortiz, nice little jump throw, and that will do it. The Brewers make it a little too close for comfort, but they do get the job done in the end. 9-7, Chris Sale picks up his 12th win of the season. Andres Munoz, his 25th save, and the Brewers do get the sweep of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Continuing on through the season, Brewers taking on the rival Cubbies, and it is Rhys Hoskins coming to the plate. He's been red hot. 2-1 ball game, and Hoskins takes this one into left field. That one will land. Hoskins going to pick up the RBI, and a runner over to third. So runners at the corners in a 2-2 ball game. Hoskins happy here in the bottom of the 8th. He has just tied it up. Zach Jackson coming in to pitch. He has not had a great year. And Arise trying to continue that not good year as he takes it to right. That one will land. Runner will score. Still 2 on in the bottom of the 8th with 1 away as Arise has given the Brew Crew the lead. 3-2. So moving on, Andres Munoz to close this thing out against Miguel Amaya. Amaya takes it out to right field. There is a runner on. Mitchell makes the catch. So 1 away with a runner on first base. Cal Stevenson batting .667. Must not have many at-bats, I'll tell you that. And there he will go down as well. So 2 gone for the Cubbies as Pete Crow Armstrong just sits and looks at the sinker. Andres Munoz with some placement, and that will give the Brewers the 3-2 win. Munoz 26 save right there. Looking to bring in a pitcher due to injuries, Steven Matz is the guy that we add to our roster. Probably not that important to show you that, but now you know. Steven Matz is in our bullpen. Jackson Churio coming up in a 2-2 ball game, top of the 10th inning against the rival Cincinnati Reds, and Churio goes down. Felix Bautista trying to get through this one. Now they will bring in Emilio Pagan. He does not have a good ERA, but he will lower it with this. As Waldo Cabrera just can't get the job done, so we go to the bottom of the 10th. And Brian Hudson in a little bit of trouble in a 2-2 game. Jake Fraley comes up and swings and misses. He goes down for the second out. Matt McClain will also go down. Brian Hudson with a very nice inning, getting out of a jam. Now in the top of the 11th against Emilio Pagan with 2 outs and 2 on, it's Christian Yelich. Yelich will swing and miss, pass ball, and he will get thrown out at first base. So through the middle of the 11th, we sim forward, and there you go. Stevenson with an RBI single to win it. Ellie De La Cruz gets your player of the game. though I would argue it's Stevenson with the game-winning RBI, but, we'll go with that one. Brian Hudson will be out for a few days. Back stiffness. Aiden Smith has fractured his shin. He's gone 1 to 2 months. A lot of injuries coming through late in the season, but the Brew Crew have 76 wins. They would obviously like to add to that, and going up against the Diamondbacks, for them, has been a good way to get some wins. But it is 8-6 Diamondbacks, and here's Garrett Mitchell hitting one out to center field. That one going to get caught, but everybody trying to tag up, and they will. It is an RBI sac fly for Garrett Mitchell. Joseph Ortiz has got to get the job done. Joseph Ortiz gets jammed a little bit here, and that one is caught in left. So that ends the 8th inning. And again, a little bit of sim forward here. Sal Frelick at the plate against John Curtis. Frelick batting .266 on the year. You saw one of his biggest home runs of the season, and now you see this huge hit into center field. It is an RBI triple for Sal Frelick to tie the game at 8 and leave him on third for Xavier Edwards to just put one into the outfield, and that is going to get the job done. Xavier Edwards with the game-winning RBI single, and Sal Frelick with a huge RBI triple in the bottom of the 9th will get it done for the Milwaukee Brewers. They get a comeback win against the Diamondbacks, 9-8. Look at those final 2 frames, 2 in each to get the job done. All right, Brewers on the road against the Orioles in the 9th inning. Trevor Richards on the hill in the top of the 9th. Brewers up 3-2, just trying to add to that lead. It's Christian Yelich, and he gets a single. That's not going to add anything to the lead, but we'll return to sim. And Jackson Chourio hits a 3 RBI double to ensure a 6-2 Brewer win. Freddie Peralta goes to 12-6. Kyle Bradish gets the loss. That was just game 1 of that series. But now we'll take a little look, and as you can see, the Brewers 9 games up. We're looking at our minors. Yeah, the Sounds are going nowhere this year, and the Shuckers are equally going nowhere this year, as you can plainly see. Max Clark also hurt. That is a huge prospect injury for us. So minor league's not looking too good. We focus on the Brewers, who are taking on, again, another rival Reds series. Wilyer Abreu at the plate. He takes that one, and we've got a stolen base in a 9th inning of a 2-1 lead. Andres Munoz really trying to hold it off. Bryce Terang, nice play on defense to get the out. There's Tyler Stevenson. He has beat us before, and he hits a single here. They're not going to try for the ribby, though. They leave the runners. And now with the bases loaded, Luis Arraez cannot make a play on it. And the Reds will not only tie it, but take the lead 3-2 against Andres Munoz. A blown save. Matt McClain will swing and miss for the final out. But the Brewers, with some work to do, face Felix Bautista. Luis Arraez has got to be a hero here and tie this game. Luis Arraez takes this out to left field. Will it flare? No. So he goes down 2 away for Christian Yelich, and Yelich gets under this one as well. That one going to be caught, and the Reds with a comeback win in our ballpark. Not what we wanted to allow today, but alas, it is what has happened as the Reds get the victory and are able to hold on and close us out 3-2. Ryan Weathers gets the win. Andres Munoz is 2-7 now, so he's blown enough saves. Felix Bautista with 42 saves on his season. All right, later on we face the Angels, who only have 59 wins, but they're beating us in this game. We have 99 wins. Here's Christian Yelich with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. He swings and misses. Yelich, just the shell of what he used to be. We are trying to squeeze one last genie out of his bottle. There's Jackson Churio, and he will also be out. No runners come across the plate with the bases loaded there. We return to Sim, and the Angels are going to pick up a win. Big win for them. Tyler Anderson only goes 3 2/3 and allows 10 hits and 5 runs. Shameful. The Nashville Sounds do not make the postseason at 67-83, and the Shuckers, 32-37, they will not make the postseason either in their second half. But the Brewers will make it. 103 wins this year, 103-59. Postseason bound for the Brewers. You see Xavier Edwards finishing with the second best average in the National League. Almost pulled that batting title. Yelich, second most hits. Bryce Terang, most triples in the league. Chris Sale, second most wins. He's probably going to lose the Cy Young. William Contreras, third best batting WAR. The MVP goes to Juan Soto. Cy Young goes to Tyler Glasnow. Sale probably should have finished second, but they make him finish third. It's fine. Batting title, Juan Soto hitting .327 with 40 homers. Edwards hit .322. Reliever of the year goes to JoJo Romero, 42 saves. Rookie of the year goes to Tommy Troy of the Marlins. He is a 73 B potential. His potential did go up, so good. Love to see that happen in this game for those guys. Hank Aaron goes to Juan Soto. Gold glove for pitchers, Feltner. Alvarez, Francisco Alvarez wins it for catcher, stealing it from Willie. There you go. Bryce Terang wins it at second base. So we do have a gold glover. Jackson Churio, second place for left field. Pete Crow wins it in center, and Sal Frelick wins it in right. So there you go. Silver Slugger DH. Yelich comes in third there. William Contreras wins it for catcher and Silver Slugger. Rhys Hoskins comes in third for first base. Probably should have came in second, but that's fine. Silver Sluggers. What else do we have? Acuna, Santander, Reynolds, Seager. Yeah, nobody there. Here's American League awards if you care. Pablo Lopez wins Cy Young batting title. Corey Seager, reliever of the year. Cade Smith. Emmanuel Rodriguez for rookie of the year for the Twinnies. Hank Aaron goes to Seager. Gold glove pitcher Ryan. Real Muto, Naylor. Jonathan India. Jose Ramirez, Bobby Witt. There you go. Silver Sluggers, Vladdy Jr., 33 home runs. Adley Rutschman, 28. Tristan Casas, Zach Geloff, Royce Lewis, Corey Seager, Marcell Ozuna, Aaron Judge, and Kerry Carpenter win your Silver Sluggers. So that will set us up for a postseason run here. We'll find out who will we take on. Will it be the Giants or the Philadelphia Phillies? That is who we can face. The 5 or the 4 seed. The Mets will take on the Braves for the right to move on and face the Dodgers. So that'll get interesting too. So there we go. We find out that it will be the Giants, and this is their order. Tyler Fitzgerald, Lamonte Wade, Kyle Tucker, Anthony Santander, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman, Elio Ramos, Matt Vierling, and Patrick Bailey. That is their team. Against righties, it kind of looks close to the same against lefties. Brett Wisely gets to play. Here's their rotation. We know it can be tough. Logan Webb, Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, Hayden Birdsong, and Robbie Ray, who, as a Mariners fan, he can kick rocks. But it will not be easy, and that will be the NLDS. You will get all 5 games in the next episode. Of course, if necessary. Take care.